Hey everybody, this is Beelit, and this is the final video with Reborn Joker, the subscriber skirmish with Reborn Joker. And we've got two matches of Tintin versus Shino. As you will see in these matches, I am not very good with Tintin. I don't know how much experience Reborn Joker has with Shino. It was a close match though. I think we went back and forth. Yeah, I won the first one, and then he won the second one. Now, there was actually a third match that was played, but it was cut off because I ran out of space to record, and when that happens, I just take out the match completely. So, I actually wanted to talk a little bit about Generations a little bit later. First, I kind of wanted to talk about the way that the game was played. Tintin is very effective with the air combo. You'll see a lot of Tintin players go to the air combo all the time, and it's because it's pretty safe. If you try to chakra dash in, you get the invincibility from some of the projectiles. But if you do it too soon, you end up getting hit by the other projectiles later on because the air combo lasts for a pretty good amount of time. And a lot of people get caught by it over and over and over. And you see right there, Reborn Joker got caught by it. People just fall for it. I don't know why. But since people go to the air combo so much, and it is so effective, slapping a support character like Tsunade or Sakura onto that, who can come out of the air extremely quickly, like you just saw there, really makes Tintin even more ferocious. Tintin is actually a really good character. I don't think people give her too much attention, but she can be used very effectively. So I think actually her throw is possibly one of the best throws in the game. And the reason for that is that its activation period lasts for a long time. And if you touch it at any point in its animation, you get hit by it. A lot of other characters, that's not the case. But for Tintin, it is. Her throw is active for a very long time. And I think that makes her throw one of the best in the game. But I'm actually going to move on from that and talk about Generations a little bit. People are talking about the sub-bar lately. And I kind of wanted to put my 2 cents in. A lot of people are saying that the sub-bar is going to be bad and that's going to bring a lot of bad gameplay. And while I understand the line of thinking, and I'm not saying that it's wrong at all, but I do want to say that there's more to the debate than just what you can imagine. Firstly, any gameplay, or most gameplay, that's coming from these festivals are people playing it that have not been playing Generations for very long. The people that are playing Generations at these festivals, most of them at least, are just getting their hands on the game. They're Storm 2 players, in all likelihood. They're Storm 2 players trying to play Generations. And there was a video, Kakashi and Conan, and they were jump guarding a lot. And when I saw that, a lot of people were saying, oh man, this is what Generation is going to be. No, I don't think so. If you notice, if you go back and you watch that, they're not chakra dashing at all. Okay, chakra dashing is actually a tool in Generations. It is a very effective tool. It attacks the guard very heavily. And I think I actually talked about that in the Generations demo that I did, the demo video. It actually attacks the guard very heavily. There's also an air variant to the chakra dash, which is going to be very effective against jump guarding. And you'll see that these players didn't do that. They were playing Storm 2 with Generations. They were not playing Generations. And I think that's an important thing to remember. I think it's also important to note that games change as time goes by. A really easy example for people to understand is Call of Duty. And I know you may not like everyone always using Call of Duty, but it's the most understandable game out there. Most gamers know Call of Duty. Most of them have played at least one Call of Duty game. So it's very easy to give someone the right idea by using Call of Duty. When a Call of Duty game comes out, the first week, first month or so, it's the honeymoon phase. Everyone's like, wow, man, this is the best Call of Duty ever. You know, everything is so good. It's so balanced. There's no cheap tactics. This is so great. And then a month or two later, someone finds something like, let's say, Danger Close noob tubes. And now everyone's like, wow, this is so stupid. And then someone else finds one-man army Danger Close noob tubes. And now everyone's like, no, 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 this is so horrible. Blah, 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 blah. Worst Call of Duty yet. So it's important to remember that games change over time. If you go to a Storm 2 uploader and you watch, let's say, their first video, maybe the week or the month that Storm 2 came out, if you watch their video and then you go back to that same person and let's say that they play consistently, if you go back to that same person a week or a month ago from this date, you will see a completely different player. You will see a completely different play style. Why is that? Because the game has changed. The game has evolved, and they've been around to change with it. Their play style has changed. They have grown with the game. And I think that that's important to remember. Games change. As hard as that may be to realize, games do change. And I think it's very important to remember that and to not throw generations over the edge before it's even out. We should play it, give it some time, experience the game, try to watch where it goes, try to see where it evolves to, and then say, okay, maybe this is a problem, maybe the sub bar is the problem, maybe it does all the things that you thought it would do, and I actually thought that Hinata would stop that. Maybe it does all the things that, you said it would do before Generations came out. But you can't go ahead and just say right off the bat that it's going to be bad without giving it time to play out and to evolve. And while a lot of great points have been made, I still don't think that it's right to go ahead and say right now, before we've had time to experience the game and to let it go on, I still don't think that it's right to go ahead and just, talk crap about it. And don't get me wrong, I don't think it's going to be the best Storm 2 game. I don't know, but I'm not going to say it is or isn't, because I don't have the experience now. And a lot of people are saying, Storm 1 is, the best Storm game. I don't know. If we look at Storm 1, sure, the gameplay would be pretty cool, but let's look at the whole game. What could you do in Storm 1? There is a story mode and a free battle mode. That was it. It was confined to an offline mode. You had very little options in Storm 1. If they tried to sell Storm 1 today, people would hate them. They were so limited in Storm 1. I mean, so many, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, well, I'll just change it. They were very constricting in Storm 1 with the options that they gave, and that's actually a really cool thing. We'll go back and look at it in a slow-mo. They really didn't give much in Storm 1. Sure, the gameplay was pretty fun, but the rest of the game, wasn't really that much. Now, Storm 2 wasn't perfect, but it was a little bit more than Storm 1 as far as content goes. But I'm optimistic for Generations. I'm happy that the development team is making a clear effort to change and to try to deliver the right game. I don't know if it's going to work, though. Now, here's the slow-mo. Now, I kind of wanted to point out that Killer Bee's jutsu does not always do its damage. Now, here you'll see, this is a trick that I use all the time. no doubt you've seen it in some of my other videos. What I'm doing there is I'm using the item to kind of reset my actions and return myself to a neutral state. So what I did there was I did the tilt, and then after that, I think I may have used the dash. After that, I used a tag after Reborn Joker had subbed. I used a tag, and by using that tag, I put myself back into, I guess, like a neutral state, and from there, I could actually use a chakra dash. So I was actually able to turn around and get back into position to attack Reborn Joker after he subbed. Very, very quickly, and it was kind of like a cancel, you know? And I've used that quite a few times. I think you'll actually see me use it a few more times in these matches. But back to Killer Bee's throw. Killer Bee's throw is very funky. If you don't hit it perfectly, it won't do much damage. The lightning effect on his arm will actually, like, it'll interact with the opponent, but it won't always do damage. So something that you'll commonly see off of like a strike back with Killer Bee if you try to use the jutsu is that if you do it just right off the bat, the lightning will hit the opponent and will interact and may send them back into another strike back, and you just saw that item thing there. It'll send them back into an additional strike back, but the move itself may do very little to absolutely no damage. I think I've actually seen it do absolutely no damage. Kind of annoying, but that's something to take note of. It only does the damage if the arm of Killer Bee actually hits. So that's when it does its full damage. If the arm does not hit the opponent, it is not going to do its full damage. So that kind of sucks. So I've said my piece about generations in the sub bar aspect. I really hope that it's going to be good, and I'm really happy that CyberConnect 2 has made an honest attempt to make a better game. It may not be perfect, but they tried, and I think that that's the most important part to take here. Sure, we're going to be sad if the game isn't as good as we want it to be, but there's always the next game, you know? We're going to have an Ultimate Ninja Storm 3, and maybe then we will have a even better game, because CyberConnect 2 will have seen, okay, Subbar didn't work, Storm 2 substitution mechanic didn't quite work, so now we've got a better idea of where we need to go. We need to be somewhere in the middle here. This Subbar was too much. The Subbar was changing the formula way too much, but this substitution mechanic in Storm 2 was too exploitable. So now we need to find some ground in the middle. So if Generations doesn't work, then we can probably be pretty sure that Storm 3 is going to be a very good game because they will know what does work and what doesn't work. So I wanted to kind of say that because I think some people, well, it's just my opinion, and I want people to not just, you know, throw the game away before it's even out. So back to the Killer Bee versus Minato. Let's see. Oh, okay. You'll see a lot when I do my combos. I call in the support character at a certain time, and when I do that, it's to cover up the vulnerable spot in my combos. In there, it's actually to cover up because if the opponent subs, bam, they get hit by it if they try to counter me. And secondly, that was a failed combo thing. Secondly, if they try to counter me without subbing, like try to counter me off of my dash, then Pain will take them down, or Hinata will take them down, depending on who I called in and the timing that I used. So I try to find the best ways to use my support characters in that sense with Killer Bee. You don't want to just throw them out. Oh, I think I know. I think this is the grinder. Is this the grinder? I'm not sure. Um, the grinder is where I use. Oh yeah, and that's a common setup. It doesn't work all the time, but no, this isn't the grinder. Maybe it is. I don't know. It doesn't work all the time with everyone, but those that hard guard a lot tend to fall for it a lot. um, so I do use it quite a bit. Um, it's pretty effective. Yeah, this is the grinder. This is the grinder. The grinder is where I take both of my support characters and dump them on each side of the opponent. That way they get pretty much like chewed up between Hinata and Pain. I don't get it done perfectly in this match, and I think I even told Reborn Joker that I was trying to put him in there. And I think that's why he was trying to get around the chair. Yeah, that was the failed grinder. But you stick them in between the two supports, and it just wears on them, and it's pretty fun. It's not that effective, but it's just fun to do. I'm actually I gotta go back to Generations. Darn it! I'm sorry. I'm looking forward to the to Killer Bee in Generations. I'm actually hoping that they have him with Kisame's sword, the Samehada. I think that's the name. I'm really hoping that they have that version. I'm not going to hold my breath, but I'm really hoping that they do, and I wonder, how Killer Bee is going to change if that does happen. I have noted that I think there was a different Killer Bee Ultimate, and that kind of leads me to believe that there may be an alternate Killer Bee version. But again, I'm not holding my breath on it. They may have just changed his regular ultimate, and that is what I'm seeing. But I'm hoping, I'm actually not a huge fan of Killer Bee. I actually never really liked the character until I started using him in Storm 2. It's kind of funny how that works sometimes. But I was actually never a big fan of Killer Bee until I started using him in Storm 2. And I actually have grown to like his silliness. I thought it was always... I thought it was kind of weird how Kishimoto just put in this incredibly stereotypical black guy. When, in Naruto and up until Killer Bee was introduced, no other person had ever been black in Naruto, at least not from my memory. So I kind of imagine Kishimoto, in his little studio, his drawing studio or whatever, just looking over Naruto and saying, man, what should I do now? I have an idea for this cool character, but I don't know how to draw him. Wait a minute. I don't think I've drawn a black guy. Oh, man. I haven't done any black people. Oh, crud. I need to get on this. Oh, man. I've just alienated so many people. I've got to make a black guy. Oh, and to make up for it, I'm going to have to make him really stereotypical. Oh, this is going to be really hard. You know what? I'll just make a whole village that's like 90% black people. That'll make up for it. And I'll make the main character, the character that is going to be associated with this place, I'm going to make him incredibly stereotypical. He's going to be doing bad rhymes 24/7. Oh, man. You're welcome, black people. I got your back. I always had that feeling that that's the origin of Killer Bee. And I didn't like him for a long time, but he's kind of grown on me. I appreciate his character a little bit more. I'm actually wondering about the future of Killer Bee. I'm kind of wondering how he's going to work in the future. I'm kind of hesitant about saying anything that could be a spoiler. But I'm kind of interested in his relationship with Naruto and how far he might go for it, but we'll see. I believe that this is the final match with Killer Bee against the fourth Hokage. Um, you'll see in my playstyle that I work behind the projectiles quite a bit, and that's very purposeful. I think I actually started doing that with Killer Bee. I started using projectiles to try to get in, and eventually I just kind of brought that playstyle into every character that I used. I think one of the biggest parts of using a character effectively is trying to figure out how to maneuver your opponent. And a lot of times, at least I think with my experience, that I want to get my opponent to stand still long enough for me to get into a good kind of range, close enough that I can get to them if I need to quickly, but not so close that, you know, I'm standing 2 feet away from them and I don't have enough time for any reactions in case, you know, they were to just throw out some random jutsu. I don't want to get caught by that stuff, and I do get caught by it quite a bit, which is irritating. But I actually got froze there. The hit stun can be weird sometimes. So I want to be at a healthy distance from them, and by using projectiles, I can kind of allow myself to get in. To try to, the projectiles really help me to keep my opponent kind of still, and that allows me to kind of bridge the gap. The most effective thing that you can do with the projectiles is the like X square thing, and it's very, very quick. You've got to kind of roll your fingers, and you can just do this little bunny hop while throwing, and it's very, very quick. And I got really lucky that Pain saved me there. It's really, really quick, and it allows you to get back onto the ground. It allows you to throw the projectiles, get back to the ground, and all the while be getting closer to your opponent while stopping them from being able to feel like they are able to move. And the weird thing is, like, projectiles are pretty useless in this game, but people are kind of scared of them for some reason. I don't get it. Like, people will bow to your projectiles. It's kind of funny. Something that I was also wanting to say is that you'll see me jump guard certain attacks quite a bit, and I think that's called chicken guarding. What I'm actually doing is I'm specifically jumping to guard certain attacks. So let's say a fireball came towards me and I'm long range. Well, no. Let's say I'm mid range. And I don't think that I have enough time, or I don't want to do a ninja move. What I might do is jump up and guard, specifically running into the fireball while jump guarding. And the reason that I do that is because I land back on the ground pretty quickly, and I can go into whatever I want from there. If you stand still on the ground and guard, you get a little bit of, I think it's block stun is the term for it. And so by jump guarding, you can actually guard the attack, and then while you're still in the air, you can throw projectiles. It's actually pretty useful. You can also chicken guard and then throw a melee attack, which you see, you probably saw it if you watched the fights I did with Con Maestro. We did it a few times, where you would guard the first melee attack, like in the air. You would guard the first melee attack of your opponent and then hit them with your own. So that's the reason that I do that a lot. I'm not just a jump guarding jerk. Most of the time, I'm specifically guarding those certain attacks. Yeah, there's a little bit of inside knowledge. So the next matches that we've got up, I think it's Kuro... Oh man, I'm going to butcher this name. I just know it. Kuro Fiyama? I don't know. Well, I'll figure it out eventually. Hopefully they'll correct me. They will be on the next matches. I don't remember. Well, you're seeing a preview right now, so yeah, that's what's coming up next. Those two people. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to be getting on these subscriber skirmish things. My goal is to have the subscriber skirmish subscriber skirmish stuff done by the release of Generations. Shouldn't be, well, the English release for Generations. I think its Japanese release is at the end of February, or February. I hate that. Yeah, so those are my plans. I'm going to be doing my best to get those uploaded. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to support it with a like or a favorite. And if you are new to my channel, you like this content, then feel free to subscribe and you can keep up with all the stuff that I do. I also have a Twitter, which I just put up there. So that should be handy. The Twitter will be in the description. I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.